Exoneration. That was a key word from Robert Mueller's 7-hour testimony before Congress on Wednesday.
Yeah, depending on your preferred side of the aisle, one of these two sound bites best represent the signature moment from Wednesday's testimony.
So the report did not conclude that he did not commit obstruction of justice. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And what about total exoneration? Did you actually totally exonerate the president?
No.
Can you give me an example other than Donald Trump where the Justice Department determined that an investigated person was not exonerated because their innocence was not conclusively determined?
I cannot, but this is a unique situation.
Well, you can't. Time is short. I've got 5 minutes. Let's just leave it at you can't find it because I'll tell you why. It doesn't exist.
Well, so a deeper dive on the word exoneration. We'd like to bring in an expert. San Diego defense attorney Vic Bajaj is here with more on this. Good morning, Vic. Good to see you.
Good morning. Likewise. Thank you.
So, overall takeaway from the testimony seemed to be that the needle wasn't moved one way or the other, and that everybody on either side of their respective aisle was kind of solidified in how they went into this hearing. Yes. What was your takeaway?
Well, my first reaction as a defense attorney, having represented people who are under investigation, sometimes falsely founded investigations, was fear. I was quite scared. If this testimony doesn't make the hair on the back of your neck stand up, you really need to take a look in the mirror, because at the end of the day, this is political theater. We understand the real foundation, the reason for this, which are sound bites and video bites for the upcoming elections. Right. However, let's not forget, this is a criminal inquisition. This is an investigation into a citizen, now president of the United States of America, who was alleged to have colluded with the foreign government. This is a criminal investigation. So because it's a criminal investigation, I wear the lens of our jury instructions, both in federal and state court. How do we analyze it? We can say it's comical on one side or the other, and granted, it frankly is. But at a greater, more global level, we have to analyze this testimony that he gave under oath through the eyes of credibility. If this is a witness testifying in a criminal case where somebody's liberty and future hangs in the balance, can we trust it? The way we answer that question is by looking at the jury instructions. We're entitled to investigate a person's ability to recall the events as they took place, the ability to not have bias, the ability to have an unbiased prosecutorial team. Now, I didn't actually go back and count how many times he mentioned the phrase, "I don't know," or "I'm not going to go into that," or "I'll get back with you on that." But the global conclusion from anyone, I think, who's had some experience in court, or an individual who's just watching TV intelligently, would be that this is an unreliable witness. No matter how you slice this or dice this, the conclusion is he cannot be trusted to give any conclusion in regards to this investigation. So on the one hand, it was political theater and the popcorn was popping at the house and we were watching it. On the other hand, the hairs on the back of our necks collectively, for anyone in the judicial process, were standing at high attention, because it is scary to believe that this individual was in charge of this country's most developed and well-funded investigation in the recent past.
I think one of the pundits, and I can't attribute to which one, said it best. The person who learned most about the Mueller report was Mr. Mueller. With that said, how often do you instruct one of your clients to plead exonerated?
Never. That would be swiftly met with a response by the court saying, "Mr. Bajaj, I'm not sure that you know you're in court here, and we don't use that term." It's an irrelevant term. It's really a term that contains a lot of emotional reaction, and that's precisely why I believe it was used. But again, this is a criminal inquisition. This is a criminal investigation. And if this is the product that we as citizens are presented with, and this is what could have led the president to be in extremely hot water, and individuals who have already been sentenced to jail time and prison time and convicted at the hands of this investigation, it is just a scary moment for the United States. But at the same time, glass half full, we are so blessed to be able to see this testimony. Many times we believe that the head lawman, the Attorney General, or the U.S. Attorney, even locally here, Bob Brewer, they are individuals who are of infinite wisdom. And that's true. They are very intelligent, accomplished people, but they are not, they are only human. So they have the same drawbacks and the misforgivings that we as all individuals do. But to see this display from the chief prosecutor in regards to such a pivotal investigation again was heart-wrenching. It was painful to see, and frankly, it was an embarrassment for our beautiful and fine country.
How much did the ongoing investigations hinder what he was willing to say or willing to not say, though? I mean, that was kind of what he said in his opening statements, was that there was a lot that he would not and could not talk about. And
right.
It did seem as though he was kind of stepping on hot coals at moments because he didn't want to discuss what could be in the future investigations or charges brought, but we're also ongoing investigations now.
Well, you know, Socrates says that if you ask the question the right way, you can elicit an infinite amount of correct answers.
Which is what many of the lawmakers tried to do.
And perhaps Socrates gave some coaching to the Democrats and not to the Republicans. Therefore, Mr. Mueller was able to understand the quickly crafted questions. I don't know. But it was very selective if you look at it. There were some clear, concise answers, clear following of logic and inquiries from the Democrats that were asking the questions. But when the Republicans asked the questions, boy, there was a lot that he just couldn't go into. He was going to get back to us as the citizens of America on it on his own time. It was just unbelievable. And it was to answer your question, it was just way too convenient. His election of answering certain questions, declaring that certain investigations and factual scenarios were outside of his investigation while others were inside and contained within, were just simply nonsensical. And I know we are talking about the former FBI director, now special counsel, in an extraordinarily pivotal investigation, but he cannot be believed. He should not be believed. And this sort of a demonstration, I think, takes a lot of faith that we have as citizens of this country in the highest lawmen that have the most authority.
So for you, in your expert opinion, is this now, can we rest and say this is done, or is this just going to continue to be fodder for the political theater that it has been?
It will continue to be fodder. We can all rest and probably have more popcorn now because we know the ending of this movie.
Well, now we wait for the IG report, right? I mean, that's going to be the next shoe to drop.
That's correct.
You know, just a little bit, we have like 10 seconds left here. Why does it take so darn long for these reports to be I mean, we've all known the evidence now for the better part of a year. What takes the Inspector General so long to come up with his findings?
I'll give you a quick answer on that. Never ask attorneys who bill by the hour why it takes so long to come to a conclusion.
Says the attorney.
All right, fair enough.
I think you can be a believable witness in that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thanks,
Happy
Vic.
birthday.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.